Hello everyone, welcome to my channel AI is Fun. So today we have created one, very interesting as well as scary bits of AI in which it is able to, write codes from your thought or from your question and give it back to you with the less time and space complexity. Okay. So let's jump into our video and let's see how it can be used in our use case or scenarios whenever we need and whatnot. Okay, so in this case we are utilizing LangChains as a LLM framework. So first understand what LangChain is. So LangChain is just a framework which is used to invoke LLM or utilize LLM to the fullest. In this scenario we are using OpenAI GPT 3.5 Turbo as our LLM. By utilizing its API key, we are creating an agentic approach. Okay, so let's understand what the agent is. Okay, so you can consider agent a kind of specific function which will do a certain task with the given tool. For example, there is many tools which is there in the market. For example, there is a internet scraper tool. Okay, so it gives the LLM functionality to search on the web and get you the real time results. Okay, so there are multiple different kind of tools and there are multiple different kind of agents you can create. There is one crew kind of agent in which there are this is a multi agentic approach. Okay, that is for the next video, but in this particular scenario we are just simply going through one specific agent. So consider there is a person which has the access of a tool, it has some instruction to it, and then it will give you back to the response. Okay, in this case there is no such a person, there is a function in place of person which has access of a tool, which has some specific instructions, and then it will give you the response, and that's all. Okay, so now let's jump back to the video and jump back to the code. Yeah. Okay, so first I have installed the dependencies. In this case, there are four different dependency. First one is LangChain, other one is LangChain Experimental, next one is LangChain OpenAI, and the last one is LangChain Hub. Okay, so first and second is just to invoke LangChain to the fullest. Okay, so there is some of the functionality which is in the LangChain Experimental, that is the agentic approach. Okay, and LangChain is just the backend of the you know uh, framework. Okay, LangChain OpenAI is for invoking the LLM. Okay, and LangChain Hub is to calling the prompt in the specific manner. Okay, we'll get back to it. Okay, so first let's see what we have imported. So the first one is LangChain Hub. Okay, so this is the same in which it will do the prompting, easier prompting for us. Okay, we don't have to write the specific kind of prompt that it will take that particular input and output, and that's all. Okay, so this help us to write a humanly as possible prompt. Okay, the next one is agent executor. So since we are creating an agent, so we have to execute the agent. But agent simply, it calls multiple times to large language model, because sometimes what happens is if the LLM generates something but it is not satisfied to give answer to the user, that is the final output, then it will again ask the LLM similar question. Okay, so that the agent executor will help in those kind of scenarios. Okay, the next one is Python REPL tool. So this is the tool which I am using for the sandbox. Okay, so what happened in this particular tool is GPT 3.5 Turbo will generate a code. That code it will run on this tool and get the result. Okay, if it is not satisfied with the result, then it will write the code again and run there and give you the result. Okay, so in this case what will happen, it is not the wrong code every time, it will give you the correct code since it is running the code and seeing the result. Okay, so it is a kind of sandbox. Now the this cell, I am setting the environment variable for OpenAI key, which is in my environment file. Next one, I am importing this create OpenAI function agent, which is just for OpenAI. But if you want to different model, there are multiple different kind of agents approach you can use. There is one React agent in which there are more functionality to it, irrespective of LLM and all whatnot. Okay, and the last one is Chat OpenAI, which is just to invoke GPT 3.5 Turbo. Okay, so in this case, I'm not using the fancy models as GPT-4 Omni or newest model or multimodal model. It is the our oldest GPT 3.5 Turbo. Okay. Now there are multiple instructions. Let me zoom it for a bit. Okay. Yeah. So there are two different instructions which I have written, but consider the second one. The first one just for testing if it is giving me the response. So if you can read these two instructions carefully, and you can write your own with your own twist and turns. Okay, so what I have written for the code instruction, let's read that one since we are utilizing this only. Okay, so you are an agent designed to write and execute Python code to answer questions. You have access to a Python REPL which you can use to execute Python code. If you get an error, debug your code and try again. Only use the output of your code to answer the question. You might know the answer without running any code, but you should still run the code and get the answer. Once you get the result, return both the result and Python code used to generate it. If it does not seems like you can write a code and answer the question, just return I don't know as an answer. Okay, so instruction is pretty much clear. Okay, now this is the base prompt which I am using from Langchain Hub. So you can go to this Langsmith and then search for this OpenAI function template, in which you can see this is the template in which there is a system prompt, there is a placeholder as a chat history, there is a human, it will give you the input, and then there is a placeholder that is agent scratchpad. Okay, so that is the kind of format which it is using and pulling it. Okay, and based on that it is giving the instruction. Okay, so this is the prompt which I am creating an object of base prompt dot partial, and here I am passing the instruction which is just a simple instruction which is this, but you can pass multiple instructions. Okay, based on your need. Okay, so that's all for this instruction creation. Now let's get to really interesting stuff. Now I'm creating an agent. To create an OpenAI agent, you can use create OpenAI functions agent, in which you have to pass the LLM. LLM is nothing but in our case open chat OpenAI, and here I am using this model, and this is the temperature that is 0. Okay, you can pass multiple hyperparameters which can be utilized like P, K values, right? And this is the tools which we are using, and that is Python REPL, which I have initialized earlier in this shell. Okay, and the prompt which is created here. Fine. Now, once we have created agent, now let's create the agent executor, which is to run the agent. Okay, so it's something like give a person life. So it is something like that. Give a code life. Now we have created agent executor, in which agent equals to agent which we have created, tools which we have provided earlier, and the verbose as a true. So we can see what in the backend the model is understanding and what the response is going to agentic approach model. Okay, so our first question just to test is what is the 10th Fibonacci number, or maybe we can write 15 or whatever number we want. Okay, and if I run this, we will be getting this kind of response. Okay, so with the response you can see that is the verbose. Okay, in which it is invoking Python REPL and writing the query. We have not given any code, but it is getting the code from GPT 3.5 Turbo and running this code. Okay, to REPL and then getting back to the response. Okay, and it is also giving me the response, that is 55. Okay, so that is the first scenario, and you can see the output which we will see from agent, that is in the white, and this is in the output section, and the result is the 10th Fibonacci number is 55, and inside three tilted bracket, three tilted, you know, we get the response in a Python format, that is function initialization. And if so, this is the code. Okay, so yeah, you can see it here as well. Okay, so this is the same code which it is returning. Now let's ask another question which is a bit complex. It is from lead code number one problem, which is sum of two numbers. Okay, and this is the question. I have just simply copied it from there. Okay, and if I run this, it is entering the executor, writing the query, giving the response, and in the output field, we are getting this Python code. Okay, so you can see it is in the Python 3 yeah, right? So you can see this is a code. Okay, now let's run another question, which is again from lead code, and it is a medium level question. Okay, it is not easy level question. So if I run this, sometimes it might take little bit time because of the there is some slowness or problem from OpenAI, but you can run your own LLM and you can see the response. So there is no much problem to it. Okay, so the response which we are getting is fine. Okay, so these are just the basic scenarios in our case. So now let's see how it's react directly from lead code, and I will show you how it is giving the response and how the response is correct or not. Okay, so for that, since it is giving me response like this manner, I am utilizing regular expression code, in which I am simply taking the function which is after this, okay, slash n, and then till here, okay, in a formatted way. So it will ignore slash n and all. It will do the proper new line and give the proper space and whatnot. Okay, so it will do everything here. Okay, so if I run this, and if I run input question, and it is asking give me the Python related question here. So I will simply go to lead code. This is a medium level question or whatever question you want. So let another one if it is hard. Let's see. Okay, I got again a medium level question. Let it be. Okay, so simply I will simply copy it. Okay, and put it here in the input box. Enter. So it the question has been given. Let's execute the agent executor. So in the meantime, you can see these are the invocation has been going on. It has written the code, and in the Python box, it has given the output, and that's all. So if I run this, the last line, it will give you the perfect code. Okay, so let's copy it and see what the response which we are getting in online compiler. Okay, so let's run it and see. Okay. So since there are three different questions, it will take little bit time, but yeah, let's see. Okay, so we got the response as 3 to 1 minus 3 to 1 and 2 1. Okay, let's see here what should be the response. That is correct. Okay, 1 to 3 is came back to 3 to 1, minus 1 to 3 came back to minus 3 to 1, and then it is 21. So our response from the example is solved. Okay, now let's paste the code which we have copied there. So if we paste there, remove the print statement. Okay, remove this function initialization or function creation, you can say, and give it proper syntax. Okay, and if we run this, okay, so let's run this and see. So we are getting the response. Okay, that is case 1 is true, case 2 is true, and case 3 both, all of those threes are completed. Let's submit it. So once we have submitted, we have get the 35 ms runtime, and we beat 66.83% without knowing anything from the code, right? So we don't know how to write code and whatnot. Okay, so simply just copy and pasted the code, question here, and just got the response and paste the question here, sorry, answer here, and that's it. That's all we need. Okay, so it is pretty much scary for us developers, and yeah, it is working that way only. Okay. So based on your use case, you can utilize LLMs, you can utilize AI to the fullest and increase your productivity. So that's all for today's video. If you find it useful, please let me know in comments, and please do like, subscribe to our channel, and yeah, see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.